Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I thought the camera was on. Camera wasn't on. How's everybody doing? What's going on? What is going on? Today is Saturday, April 5th, and it's episode 803 of the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'll be here for an hour trying to answer as many immigration and law related questions as I can. It's been an interesting week for me and for immigration. Got lots to talk about. The waiting room is full, though, so I'm going to go ahead and just get the party started with Yes Man. Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Jim.
Walaikum salam. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, how are you, brother?
I'm good.
Jim, I spoke to you about a year and a half ago to get some advice on my green card application. Alhamdulillah, it was approved. Now, unfortunately, I am facing some difficulties in my marriage. I got my green card in July of last year. We haven't filed for divorce yet. Any advice for me?
Well, sure. So, question number one. When you met this person and got married, were you in the United States or were you outside the United States?
I was inside the United States. I was actually on DACA.
Okay. So, then how did you get your green card? Did you advance parole?
I came in on a visitor's visa at the age of 4. Yeah.
So, it would be fair to say that marrying this U.S. citizen sort of fixed it. I'm sure it was a real marriage, but it also fixed your immigration problem, right?
Correct.
So that means I think that when you file your 751, it's going to be held to a higher standard because they're going to wonder if you got married just to get a green card. So, so my question in these situations, my first question is always, think about the level of assistance that your spouse is going to give us on the 751. Red light, yellow light, green light. Red light is they're going to try to keep you from staying. They're going to try to get you deported. Yellow light is they're going to stay out of it. And green light is they'd be willing to sign an affidavit, a long affidavit that basically says, yeah, this was a real marriage, but it just didn't work out. What would you say?
I think they're just going to stay out of it.
Okay. And tell me about the problems that you're having.
Basically marital breakdown, finances. She was looking for someone a little more religious.
A little more what?
Religious.
Well, so why didn't all this stuff get sorted before you got your green card? Why is this only coming out now?
Well, we've been working on it since then. Before that, I thought everything was going fine. And then,
what does that mean? You've been working on it. What does that mean? Did you go to counseling?
No. I just kind of, she wanted a very traditional lifestyle, so I took care of all the finances. We were living together. I have a joint lease, which then got converted to a month-to-month. We have rent receipts in our name.
You're telling me the list of your evidence, but you're not answering my question.
Yeah.
My question is, why did the problems in the marriage suddenly appear after you got your 2-year green card?
I wouldn't say they suddenly appeared. We've been trying to pray together. But it basically within the last month or so. Back in December, it just became a bigger deal for her that I wasn't waking up for the prayers, and that's essentially how everything just kind of broke down.
Okay. So what's your question for me?
What are the chances of me filing a 751 and getting that stuff approved?
Well, if the spouse won't help, that lowers the chances. Are you guys still living together?
We are not. She moved out in January.
She moved out in January, so 5 months after you got your 2-year green card.
Yes.
It's tough, man. I think they're going to be suspicious as heck. You were way out of status. You were on DACA, and so you were out of status basically when you got married, and you got a green card out of it. I think they're going to hold this to a pretty high standard. I think it's going to take a lot of work to get it approved.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of evidence. I don't know if you want to me to go
Sure.
through them. So we have the 1 year lease joint, and then it got converted to a month to month. We have my retirement account with her as a beneficiary, life insurance with her as a
So
beneficiary.
that's all fine. I'll just assume for the sake of argument that you have evidence that it was a real marriage. I think
Yeah.
the whole shooting match is going to be explaining to the officer why things suddenly went sideways after you got your green card. They're just going to be suspicious. So you're going to have to spend a lot of time demonstrating, not just with leases and all that stupid stuff, but like affidavits, sworn affidavits from people that knew you, that knew about the
Yeah.
relationship. It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, my uncle's still trying to mediate the situation for both of us and trying to bring us back together.
Okay. What country are you from?
Bangladesh.
So they're going to discriminate against that for that too. All right. Well, good luck. Yes, man. Let us know if you need help. Okay.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, buddy. All right. All right. Hey, everybody. Our friend Lewis is here, heading to a week's vacation. Well, isn't that nice? All right. Let's go over to Eli. Hello, Eli. Eli, you're on mute.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Eli. How are you?
Hello, Jim. Good morning. I'm so happy to have this question with you. God bless you. This is my situation. Okay, I've been in this show many times, but okay, my wife, she's Nicaraguan. I'm Nicaraguan. I got my green card through EB2. That's a national interest waiver. I got it September 15th, 2023. Yeah. So I petitioned her.
Congratulations to you. That's great.
Oh, that was a rough one, but God is great, and we did it. Yeah. So then, so I petitioned her. I-130. I did it November 25th last year. I'm sorry it took so late, but we had many things going on in Nicaragua, so that was rough. She came in with me last year, 2023. Through the Nicaraguan humanitarian parole. She already had her tourist visa, but we said through the parole is going to give us more time to be able to see if we can adjust her here. So that's the situation we're in now. Now with Trump, well, things changed a bit. And, the Nicaraguan humanitarian parole is in question right now. And the I-130 was submitted last year. The priority date is not there yet. But before she completed the year, we decided to also submit an asylum because the reason why she left Nicaragua under the parole is because we were being harassed, basically stoned her home and her family. We had her daughter there. She's also an American citizen. We had to come. We basically fled the country. We had to sell it for cheap. We couldn't get anything, so we came here. So we also submitted her asylum. My question is, Jim, the priority date of her I-130, could we submit adjustment of status with the priority date, or do we have to wait until the I-130 is approved?
So what is her priority date?
Priority date is November 25th, 2024.
So first of all, I mean, I don't want to kick you while you're down, but you understand now what a catastrophic mistake it was to wait 1.5 years to file the I-130, right?
That's ignorance, and that ignorance is expensive, and I'm sorry for that. Yes.
No, I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm just trying to teach everybody else. I always say, if you have an immigration benefit that is available to you, file for it right away, because you never know when Orange Cheeto's coming back to the White House and messing everything up. If Kamala had won, it would have been fine. But people, you always got to think worst case scenario, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so November of 2024. So right now they're on October 15th, 2024. So no, you can't file.
Yes.
You don't have to wait till the I-130 is approved. You just have to wait for the visa the visa priority date to become current. So maybe next month you can.
Okay.
When does her parole run out?
Her parole, well, according to what the original I-94 said, it was
Yeah, but I mean
next year.
was next year, and then they terminated it, right?
And
So,
they basically terminated it. Yes, sir.
so you're going to most likely benefit from these lawsuits that are going on right now. I know that there's been a lawsuit to challenge the revocation of Venezuelan parole, and I think that's actually been enjoined, and I think the same thing's going to happen with Nicaraguan and Cuban and Haitian as well. So I think that you just need to pay attention to the news and see what's going on, and maybe check with me. But then, as soon as if I were you, what I would do is I would hire us or somebody else to have your green card case ready to ship on the day that her priority date becomes current, which is hopefully next month.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah, so then that's what we've been thinking, and my wife have been following your show as well. So we think you guys are the best option. Should I use the same number that is on the website? Attorney Jim?
email us. Say this is Eli. I was the second caller on Saturday's show, and send us your I-130 receipt notice and your cell phone number.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Thank
you.
I'll put it on the screen. Sure thing, bud.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Eli. See ya.
Thank you.
All right, that was Eli. Yeah, guys, you never want to wait till the last minute to file for an immigration benefit. Hey, let's see what's going over on TikTok. Hey, Jim, I just got my citizenship after being here for 14 months. Visitor to citizenship. Interesting. Maria, thank you for the gifts. Patricia says, my husband did his fingerprint in November for work permit, but still hasn't received it yet. Should be soon, Patricia. Should be soon. Nana Quay, may God continue to bless you. I learned a lot from you, and I did the process by myself. Good job, Nana. Ethio 2024. Hello, Jim. I have questions and granted on March 2025 asylum. Can I submit my I-45 right now? No, most likely you have to wait a full year. All right. I'm going to go to Naomi, and then Sash, and then Angelica, and then Christopher. I'll go to you, but your camera's on. You got to have your camera off when I get to you, so it's all good. Naomi, hello.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for taking my call. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Hey, so I married a U.S. citizen, and we submitted my adjustment of status application, like everything, in December. My F1 visa expires in June, and I'm wondering whether I should apply for OPT while my green card application is still pending.
So your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
And you said your F1 visa is expiring, or your I-20 is expiring, and you're thinking about getting it?
I'm sorry, I-20.
That's okay. Yeah, 100% I would apply for OPT. 100%.
Okay.
No doubt.
Yeah, we applied for employment authorization. It went from 3 months to 44 months. So we're trying to figure out what happened. We paid for it. It's crazy.
It's not going to take that. It's not going to take that long. But you want to keep all your options open. So,
Got it.
I would say stay in status, keep doing what you're supposed to, and then let the green card case work itself out.
Awesome. Okay, sir. Thank you. That's all my question.
Thanks, Naomi. Have a good day. All right, let's go to Sash. Hello, Sash.
Hi, good morning, Jim.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. I have a quick question regarding of my. I had an interview last month on 27th of my 485 on marriage base, and my interview goes very well. But the officer find out my medical record, one of the vaccine is missing. So he gave me a RFE regarding of that, and I did RFE. I got that immediately go to my surgeon, which is the authorized by USCIS. She put me a vaccination and I uploaded online account because officer told us just upload it online. Since that day on 27th, nothing even show the RFE in the online accounts or nothing. And what about just question regarding of that? Is there any bad effect on my 485 or I have to don't worry about that?
So let's back up. So did they approve the I-130?
No, both are pending.
And so when you filed your green card application, you did not submit your medical exam. Is that right?
I've submitted medical exam, but the vaccination, when I submitted my medical exam on the May of 17th of last year, but says the USCI has to be a mandatory polio vaccination, which is missing on my vaccination record.
So that's what you uploaded.
Yeah.
And the interview was just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
A week ago on 27th of March.
Yeah. until you get to 90 days, I wouldn't worry. If you get to 90 days, I'd worry. Did they do a Stokes interview or no?
No, it's not talking. It is the interview like pretty smooth. It's not like a like formality. Like the officer says us, okay, when did you meet? The question regarding of my wife, she has her own house, or so asking. I have a question regarding, did you upload it on the a deed of the home, but my name is not there. Says what is happen on that? So she said, okay, the deed is happen like that because we didn't meet on that time last year on the April. We meet on the not last year, 2023, and we meet before she bought the house. So said she tried to add my name, but the company said no, you need to refinance and that stuff. So we don't to intend to refinance because it's going to be expensive then.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about any of this until 90 days have gone by.
okay, and there has a my 485 has a public charge question, which is a precious because I was an asylum seeker here. I'm from Kenya,
Mhm.
so my asylum has been deportation and court hearing, but because I filed my I-130, so my case has been dismissed prejudiciation.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's nothing worried about that side. But I use my Medicare because I'm a diabetic type 1, so I use the Medicare of Maryland State. So I put the yes, and the officer said, "Yeah, you are said truthfully. You use the public charge, so we don't worry about that." So, anything effect on my case on that?
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I have a job now, and now my Medicare is not on no more. I'm on my wife medicals now.
I wouldn't worry about any of this. I think you're going to be fine.
Okay, thank you. That's my question. Yeah,
See you, buddy.
thank you.
Yep. All right. I see there's some questions in the chat about the visa bulletin, and Aubrey's doing a great job actually explaining it to people. I really appreciate that, Aubrey, walking people through the priority date. So you don't have to worry about the visa bulletin if you're a U.S. citizen filing for your spouse, your child under the age of 21, or your parents. Everybody else is subject to the caps on those categories, which would be unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, spouses of green card holders, children of green card holders, adult children of green card holders, unmarried or married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, and brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. All those people have to look at the visa bulletin every month and say, is the priority date on my I-130 current? Has the date that's on the visa bulletin, it is complicated, Aubrey, has the date on the visa bulletin past the date that's on my receipt date? The way I think about it is just literally picture yourself in a long line. When I was a kid, believe it or not, our young people, how do you do, kids? How do you do, fellow kids? Believe it or not, if you wanted to go to a rock concert, like when I wanted to see U2, when I was in high school, so this would have been 1987, people would sleep out in line overnight to get concert tickets. It was really fun, actually. And so I slept out at the Checker Dome to get tickets to U2, and I ended up getting tickets in the very last row. The very last row. It was so high that the roof actually was against my neck. I had to lean forward the whole concert. But in any event, think about yourself in a long line. And so on your receipt date, that's your line ticket. So if your receipt date, like that guy was like November 24th, 2024. And right now they're on October 15th, 2024. So if next month it says December 1st, 2024, then he can go ahead and apply the green card application for his spouse, right? It's pretty tricky. Yes, now it's all Ticketmaster, Dammy. You're right. But man, was it fun. Those were good days. Those were really good days. When I went to the World Series in 1982 with my dad when I was 12, we got those tickets through the mail, if you can believe it. Through the mail. Angelica is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. So I have a question. I received my paperwork through my spousal sponsor. So I received my conditional green card and I applied for my removal of conditions. I have been waiting 25 months now without any answer. I did receive the 48th month extension when I did submit my paperwork. That was March 10th of 2023. Now we're in 2025 and it's still silent. I have not heard anything.
So two thoughts. Number one is most people are hearing it 26 months. That's really right around 2 years and 2 months is what we've been telling people. That's my first thought. My second thought is if everything's cool with the marriage, it's actually the filing of the N-400 that gets it all worked out.
Okay, so here's my thing. We are divorced.
Okay.
So when I applied for the removal of conditions, I sent in the forms. I was divorced in February of 2023, and then they received my paperwork in March of 2023.
So you filed the 751 all by yourself without your spouse?
Without my spouse, correct, yes.
Spouse didn't file it. Okay, so let's back up. What was the start date on your green card? Would have been like 2021?
Correct.
And then how long after you got your conditional green card did you start having problems in your marriage?
Literally the next day, truthfully. But I definitely kept on, for the 2 years at least, because I knew that 2 years at least it would have to be. So I was good with the timeline, but we tried a therapist, couple therapy. We moved in together. We had everything together, bank accounts, the car insurance, the apartment, health insurance. I mean, everything was together like it was supposed to be. And unfortunately, we tried and tried and tried. And that's when I just realized there's just no point. Nothing is really working out at this point.
Okay, so now I want to go back even further. When you got your papers through your spouse, what was your status before that?
DACA green card, DACA holder.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard the call at the top of the show, but this is very similar to the call at the top of the show. Okay. So when you came to the United States as a young person, did you have a visa or did you enter without inspection?
No, I was 6, 7 years old. I came with my family. We came on a tourist visa like most have, and we overstayed our stay.
Yep.
Then we went to an attorney to file the paperwork for immigration, but we actually filed with a fraud attorney, which we had no idea he was. He stole all the paperwork, stole all the money, and fled the country. So since that point, we had trouble, getting our papers situated. The only way it was is to get married. So currently I'm 32. I waited till I met someone, worth my time as I thought at that point. But unfortunately, it did not work out that way.
Please don't ever say that again. Please don't ever say, get married to get my papers sorted out.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't for that. But that's what my lawyer said. That is the only way.
I'm just saying. Yeah, don't ever say that again. Don't say that's the only way. Whether that's true or not is not something you say out loud. It's not something you use in any discussions of your relationship with your spouse. Don't ever do that again. They'll nail you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's back up. Okay. So did you have an interview on your original conditional green card?
I did, and it was with my husband at the time.
Sure. And did they separate you?
No, we were in the same room.
Okay, and how did it go? Fine?
It went fine. It was about 10, 15 minutes. And before we left, he said he was going to approve the green card before his lunch break, and he did just that.
Okay, so this fraudulent lawyer that you had before, did that person actually file something with your name on it?
It got to that extent where my mom was able to receive her social security number, but none of us, unfortunately, were able to receive anything else. My mom was the first application that was sent out, and she actually was able to receive her social security. And then that's when he took everything else and fled the country. So no, my brother and my dad had.
Do you know what he applied for her for? Was it asylum, and that's how she got her work card?
Truthfully, I'm not sure. I was little back then and I do not remember, but she did receive her social security and her work authorization, and that was it.
Okay. All right. So here's another question. if USCIS came and knocked on the door of your ex-spouse tomorrow and said, "Hey, tell me about Angelica. Was this a real marriage? Did she marry you just to get a green card?" What would your spouse say?
Well, I'm not sure because he did threaten with immigration, after we got married.
Okay. But what do you think? Nothing good?
Unfortunately not. I do not believe so, no.
Okay. And so when you filed your 751 by yourself,
Mhm.
did you have a lawyer or not?
Yes.
Okay, good. And did the lawyer include like a long detailed statement of your entire immigration history in your application?
I do not believe so, no. I have all of the paperwork, and no, it was mainly on the marriage that we had the last few years.
That's a huge mistake because they're going to be looking at a pile of documents and they're going to say this lady was out of status for years. She married someone. Are you telling me you were divorced? You were divorced at or by the time it was time to file for your 751?
Yes, I was divorced in February of 2023, and I filed end of February, and they received it on March 10th.
And what was the start date on your conditional green card?
Oh my goodness.
Roughly, when did you get it is what I'm trying to figure out.
May
May of 22?
20. No, because it was 2 years of 21.
Okay. So who filed for divorce? You?
I did.
When?
I filed for divorce in June of 2022 and was finally divorced in February of 2023.
So you filed for divorce a year and 2 months after you got your green card.
It was 2 years after. We got married in 2020. We got married in June of 2020, and we applied for the paperwork in September of 2020.
Right. And then you got it in 2021.
In May of 2021.
And you filed for divorce in 2022.
2022. Yes.
So here's what I got. Let's pretend that we're not talking about you, Angelica. Let's pretend we're talking about your best friend, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a person who came to the United States as a young child, and they came on a visit visa with their family. The family hired a shady lawyer who filed something that was probably fake to get mom a social security number. On those applications would have been listed all of the children, including our friend. Fast forward, our friend has been getting DACA but out of status for a really long time. Our friend marries a U.S. citizen. The marriage is pretty short. USCIS gives our friend a green card after a 15-minute interview. And a year after the green card's approved, this person who'd been out of status for so very long up and divorces the U.S. citizen and files a 751 on their own and just includes pretty much some marriage evidence, which some of which is probably was submitted with the original case, or it's not much new stuff since then.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound about a good summary of it all?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, I think that this case needs a lot of work, that some attorney just went through the motions of packaging together some stuff as if you were just still happily married, and that if you want to get this case approved, you need a long, detailed statement explaining basically everything I just said. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like line by line, this is when I came, this is what happened, blah, 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 all the way to today. And the biggest thing you're gonna have to explain is why you got divorced and how he threatened your immigration status. How would they know that stuff?
Right.
And to them, especially, I mean, everything I just said would have been entirely true if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris were president.
Mm-hmm.
But it's especially true now.
Yeah. Difficult now at this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So am I supposed to submit this, I guess, now with my current application pending
Yep.
as more evidence?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I think okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that, Jim.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Wow. So we had 2 cases today where people got married while on DACA and they both ended in divorce. Those are tough cases to win. They're, obviously suspicious of people who came to the United States, overstayed, even though it wasn't their fault, and then they marry a U.S. citizen and fix their immigration status and then try to get the conditions removed. Tough case. I'm in France, wife in USA. I-130 submitted in January 2024. USA is still reviewing the case. How much longer? I would say the I-130 will get approved here pretty quickly. How to ask embassy for a further appointment due to a deferred medical exam. You just got to keep emailing them. Any issue for I-751, even if the charges were dropped, no diversion program, no fine, just nolly prosecute. That's about as good as it gets. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Thob asked, Jim, do you accept requests here? I try to answer questions here and here. I go back and forth. Oh, I'll post the link. Sure thing. The waiting room is full, though. You guys, if anyone wants to get in to ask me a question today or any other day, you really need to get on our text list. Text the word SHOW, SHOW, to 314-470-3300. That's really the only way you're going to get in the waiting room, and you probably need to get in there early just because the waiting room fills up usually by 10 or 15 minutes after we send out the text. So text the word SHOW to 314-470-3300. If you're relying on being able to get into the waiting room because things open up, that's going to be pretty tough. Let's go to Christopher, then Clee, then N400, then Trump. All right, Christopher, hello.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Good
I'm
morning.
well. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm in the weather, but everything else is good.
What's up?
I just had a quick, I guess, rather light question. Me and my fiance, she's a German citizen. We've applied for, well, I applied a petition of I-129F, and it's currently being processed. We had a vacation or kind of like another visitation this year planned in May, and she has her ESTIS visa, like a tourist or visit visa.
Yeah, visa waiver.
Second, I'm sorry.
Yeah, visa waiver. Yep, ESTA. Yep.
I was just wondering, like, what is the likelihood or possibility of, like, if she were to come and visit in May, that she would get turned around, like, and sent back?
Good question. I would say that the most important thing is that she's completely honest. Okay? Completely honest. So in other words, it'd be nice for her to have this visit with you, but what we really want is the fiance case to get approved and her to be able to come no problem, right? So
Yes, sir.
if they say, who are you coming to visit? I'm going to see my fiance. Are you going to apply for a green card when you get here? No, I have a fiance case pending and I have a job back in Germany. And all that stuff, right? So I would say, I'd be a little bit nervous, but hopefully she'll get through. But she just has to. The most important thing is that she's honest.
Yeah, that's what where we're both at. It's like she's teetering on canceling her visit or whatever just because of everything that's going on here. But yeah, before we filed, when she came to visit last year, like 3 separate occasions. But now with this paperwork started and then everything going on, we're just on the ropes.
How long has the I-129F been pending?
Since February.
Oh yeah, so it's okay.
Okay.
Good luck, Christopher. Keep us posted, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the info.
Bye, buddy. All right. Let's go to Clee. Hello, Clee.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Oh, it's a pleasure talking to you. I can say I hope your wife she understands that she has a very good husband. You're a very wonderful man. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Clee. How can I help you?
I just want to ask you a couple of questions. I've been kind of a little scared, but I wish I didn't know you from a long time. I think I would have used your law firm, but I think I have a good lawyer so far. Let's see. I put in the I-130 from last year, March 26, 2024. I'm still waiting to see. I'm married to a Gambian citizen. He's in Gambia. I'm a U.S. citizen. And I wanted to like get my little nerve a little under control. I wanted to know if everything seems like he will be able to come here, because with all of this thing here, he's on the yellow ban list, as they say, some lists. So I wanted to find out if you think, I'm doing the right thing.
Sure. Go for it. What's the time?
I put in his papers March last year, the 26th, 2024.
Okay.
So it hasn't get approved yet. I want to try to travel over there. Maybe again this year. I've been over there 6 times. So I wanted to find out, what do you think the timeline is, and you think I will get approved, and you think he still have a shot? What do you think?
Is there an age gap?
Just 10 years.
And how did you meet him?
Oh, hi. I was divorced. I divorced long time ago. I wasn't really looking for anybody. A friend of mine introduced me on this website. That's how I met him. I met him in 2022. And I've been single for a long time. So I met him then. He seems to be a very nice guy. Everything is going very well, very, very well. Nice person from a very humble background. And I got to meet, I got to, feel out, trying again. I'm really trying again. I really want to give this a good shot. Our marriage is going very well. No problems with him. I go back and forth to see him. He has 2 little girls, 2 sweet little kids, and I'm trying to work out to make sure that this is good. And I'm hoping that everything gonna go good. But I'm just a little scared. But so far so good. So I don't know what you think.
So, okay, I have questions. Are you?
Yes.
Or you said you were married before?
Yes, I was married. I divorced in 2017.
And did that marriage involve either you or your spouse getting an immigration benefit?
Yes, I did get an immigration benefit from him.
So you weren't born in the United States. You got a green card based on marriage to your ex.
Yes, I'm from St. Martin.
Okay, perfect. And then what was the date of the divorce?
Divorce was April 4th, 2017.
And this fellow that you're married to in Gambia, has he ever applied for a visa
No.
to the United States?
No, he don't know nothing. I didn't even know that country existed, to be honest with you, Mr. Jimmy. I didn't understand. I didn't know that country existed.
That's funny. No, so my question was, has he ever applied?
No, he never did. Never traveled, never applied for any kind of benefit, nothing.
And he wasn't married before?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think your I-130 will probably get approved in a month or two, right around 14, 15 months. Then you go to the National Visa Center. I mean, I think they're going to be a little bit suspicious because you got a benefit through immigration, and now you're going to get the benefit through immigration. But and the age gap, I think they're going to think he might have married you just to get a green card. So I think you're going to have to beat that back. 6 trips to see him is really, really good.
I'm planning to go again I'm planning to go. I put in my time to go in June, but I'm trying to see if I should wait until he get approved before I travel again, or I should go again. I'm just like, I'm up in the arms, and I have everything like situated, like for the tax returns and all of those transcripts and everything. I put everything aside for when they're ready to call us. But so far, everything seems. I have a lot of evidence. I put in a lot of evidence, a lot of pictures, I did a lot of things with him, and I do send little help, like money to him, every 2 weeks. When I get some money, I try to help him out a little bit. I do that at least he have some evidence, if they ask.
So I would say, Cleve, that if you guys have any problems, it won't be because of your marriage or because of your case. It'll be because of the age gap, and because they're most suspicious of men from Nigeria, and right underneath it is Gambia. So I think that'll be a little bit of trouble, but I wish you good luck. Keep us posted, okay, Clee? I think you're doing everything.
I will. I thank you so much, Jim. Thank you so much. I feel a little bit better since I talked to you. I feel a little bit better. Not better, but I feel a little bit better. But
That's
you
okay.
have a good day.
Thanks,
You
you
are
too.
so blessed. I pray for you every day. You are a wonderful, wonderful man. Wonderful man.
I appreciate
You have
it.
a good day. You hear?
Good luck. Yep, keep us posted.
Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? What a great call that was. Do you guys remember, I think in the 90s there was a psychic lady named Miss Cleo. Do you remember that? Miss Cleo, I think it was called. She was called, and I think she would like read your palms or look in her fortune in her crystal ball. Hey Jim, I got my TN visa issued in November. Am I okay to leave the United States for vacation? Only if you can be stuck outside the United States for 6 months, David. Who knows if it's going to be, if you're going to be able to allow it back in. All right, that was Miss Clee. That made my day. That was something. Let's go to N400 question. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good morning to you. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I have a question. I had my N400 interview in February 2024. I left the office and the officer gave me the letter that the decision can be made. And on February 2025, this year, I sent an e-request that my case was outside normal processing time. And after 2 days, they changed it to ceremony will be scheduled. So now my question is, more than 30 days passed by and I still didn't receive the date for hold. Is that true that the all will be scheduled online means nothing, that the case can be still under review, and that they really schedule the oath when is really approved?
No, I think it's approved. In the system, it's approved. Where do you live?
Miami, Florida.
Yeah, so they're probably just waiting for enough people. Like they're probably just waiting to schedule it. I was just in San Francisco. They said they had a little glitch. They had a backlog. I wouldn't worry about this at all. I think you're in good shape.
Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right, that's easy. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let us know, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, that was an easy one. Let's go to Trump. Hello. Hello, Trump. You're muted. Wouldn't that be great?
Hey, good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Hey, are you driving?
No, I'm not. I'm in the passenger side.
Okay, what's up? I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. I just got a very quick question. So I'm about to file my I-751, and I'm just a little bit worried about about my case. It was my case ain't so bad, but so I came to the United States on a student visa in 2021. So when I came to the United States, the original school that I was supposed to go to, I didn't go there. I kind of like switched, and I downgraded my degree. I was supposed to come for a bachelor's, but I ended up just doing an associate degree, and I changed my major, and I got my associate degree. So I met my wife, and we got married, and I filed for my 485, and it was approved with no interview, right? And it was approved in 2023. I got my work permit in 2022 because I called them, and I asked them if they can just approve my work. She was nice, and she approved my work permit, so I had my license, my social security, and all. I got a job, and green card came. So it was approved with no interview. I tried my best to file a very strong case, a lot of evidence. You wouldn't believe the kind of evidence I had in just less than a year of marriage, right? So I'm about to file the 751 now, and I'm just worried with this new administration. If the fact that I came on, I got my F1 for a bachelor's, but I switched and just did an associate, and the age difference, and then coupled with the fact that my country, Nigeria, that you talk about all the time. I'm worried about all of this.
So, when you went to the embassy, you said you were going to go to school ABC and you were going to go for 4 years and get a bachelor's degree, right?
Oh,
Is that right?
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So how long did you go to the school that you said you were going to go to?
So I didn't. So when I came, I went there for about 3.5 months, and then I switched.
Why? Why did you switch? We lost him.
So financial reasons. Came
Okay,
during COVID. You know, I came
Yeah,
in
but-
2021 during COVID, and when COVID hit, my dad lost his job, and a lot of
COVID-
financial issues back then.
COVID hit in 2020.
Oh yeah, 2020 actually. So, but he actually got laid off in 2021 because the company was just recovering from COVID, from
Yeah.
that period. And I filed for the visa in 2020 during COVID, and then I got my interview in 2021.
Did
Then when I
you?
came,
So when you changed schools, how long did you go to the school? After you changed schools, how long did you go to school?
so it was a year, just got it 2 years, a year and 11 months.
So you switched? Did you switch to a community college?
Yes,
And did you get an associate's degree?
yes, sir. In applied science. So my F1 was for electronics engineering, but I got my associate in applied science.
Okay, and then did you get married while you were in status or after your F1 was terminated?
After it was terminated, after I got my associate degree.
And then what about the age difference?
Yeah, so it's 27 years difference. My wife is older by 27.
Is there a racial difference or no?
No, same skin type.
Did you have an interview on the green card?
No, I didn't. It was approved. With no interview. Probably, I don't know. Well, I don't want to take the credit, but I found it with as much evidence as you can think. Affidavits from everybody. My name was on the lease. My name was on her insurance. We had a joint bank account, and a lot of evidence, a lot of pictures. Lots of stuff.
So here's what I would say. I'm really glad you called. I think it's a great question. I think that there are certain things that the Trump administration is really mad about when it comes to the way Biden handled immigration. And you could probably make a list of the things that they're mad about. Obviously, one of them is parole, the way they use parole. But another one that they're mad about, I think, is that cases were being approved without an interview. So I think that, and I put you on mute just because the car was driving me nuts. I'll bring you back on in a second. I think that by any fair application of the rules and processes, that the idea that somebody received a 2-year green card with a 27-year age gap when the person was out of status is sort of crazy. So even in my liberal immigration heart, if anybody should have had an interview, it was a case with a 27-year age gap with someone out of status.
I agree.
So I think that almost undoubtedly you're going to have an interview on this case. Or if you should not apply for citizenship under the 3-year rule, no way, shape, or form. And if you have an interview, they're going to do a Stokes, and they're going to scare the shit out of your spouse and try to get her to withdraw everything and to say that it was all something you paid for. So I think you're right. I think you're right to be worried.
Okay. So Jim, so my worry is, a young man coming to America in 2021. This is 2025. To be honest with you, I have a lot of ties to America as we speak already. Coming here, God blessed me a lot. Like when I say ties, like expensive house, money in their bank account, hundreds of thousands of dollars, a world class job, contact from people, so if immigration try to mess with me, and the whole deportation news and stuff, I have too much ties to the U.S. So I don't know how, I'm really worried about this.
You should be. You should be worried. Who filed your 751? Did you file it with a lawyer or by yourself?
So the first one, the 485, I watched a shit ton of your videos, and I did it by myself. I overwhelmed them with hundreds of evidences, and the 751, I also did it myself with a lot of evidence. So, but at this point, I don't know. Do you take cases of like this? Like I've already filed it, but if I get called for an interview, can I still hire you guys, to go with me to the interview and stuff like that?
Yeah, but yes, you can, but I would say don't wait for the interview. Start working on it now. Like, to me, the whole thing is going to come down to your spouse. The whole thing is going to come down to your spouse.
So she watches your videos too, and she knows about the fact that they can try to scare her. Like when we travel overseas, sometimes she watches your videos, so she's prepared. If they try to in the airport, or wherever they try to scare us, but gracefully they haven't messed with us. They haven't really, so she knows about that. We try to scare her. She knows what to say.
Okay. If you want to email us, go ahead and email us. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. I just want to ask one more question, okay?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Since you got married, has there been a night where you guys didn't sleep in the same bed?
Yes, but not because there's any problem. The marriage is 100% good. But the thing is, my kind of line of work, I have to travel to government houses of different states once in a while. I have to, go to some, I get to, have some meetings with top government officials once in a while, so it's just, for work purposes, not because, anything is wrong with the marriage.
But on average, how many days out of a month are you gone?
Sometimes I can go for 2 weeks at a time. Sometimes I can go for 3 weeks at a time. Sometimes I can go for a week at a time. It could even be some days, But it's not often. It's just once in 3 months, once in 2 months. Sometimes back to back. But it's not every time.
All right. Well, let us know. Thanks for the call. Wow, that was something. Tough case. And now if they're living apart that much, that could be tough too. Aubrey says, I'm not seeing any red flags. I think Aubrey's pulling my leg. All right. Let's see. That was Trump. We'll probably go a little long today. We got some people to clear out of the waiting room. Yeah, some people don't have their mic or camera on. So let's go to Jay. Hi, Jay. Jay, you're on mute.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm well, thank you.
You're welcome. So I came in 2014 as a student. Then I fell out of status, got married 2017, but never filed. Reason because my spouse was very abusive and all that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So
I want to know what my chances are. So I recently filed for a divorce, but it hasn't gone through yet.
And so nothing has ever been filed.
No, nothing has ever been filed.
And when you married this person, were you out of status?
Yes, I was.
And what evidence of marriage do you have? Do you have a little bit, a lot, or what?
Do I have a little bit of what?
Marriage evidence. How much marriage evidence do you have?
I have pictures of the marriage ceremony. Then I have the marriage certificate.
So that's not much evidence of at all. How long were you married?
I was married from the period of 2017 to the end of 2018. He disappeared on me, so I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is and all that.
So we don't have a lot of marriage evidence. How about evidence of abuse? Do we have much evidence of abuse?
He was mostly verbally abusive. So I didn't have like evidence of the abuse because I never thought the marriage would go south.
Okay. And so why are you just dealing with this now? Is it because of Trump?
Yes, because of Trump. Yes.
So here's what I would say. This is going to be a very, very tough case. You don't have any evidence of abuse. You have very little marriage evidence, and he disappeared. So
Mhm.
I think the chances of you getting status based on the facts as presented right now, the chances of success are about 2%, very, very low.
Okay. So what are my options?
I don't think you have any options that would involve raising your hand and saying you're here right now. I think, you're a long-time visa overstay. You have no status. I would not file this case. I would not raise my hand if I were you and say that I was there. It's not a winnable case.
Okay. So can I file for like a violence act against women because he was very abusive, abandonment and all that?
You have to prove the marriage, which you can't do, and you have to prove the abuse, which it sounds like you can't do.
So when you say I have to prove the marriage, what do you mean?
Sure. In order to make a Violence Against Women Act case, you have to prove that the underlying marriage was real.
Okay.
So as if there was no abuse. You have to prove it up as if it was just, you have to prove that you were validly married to a US citizen and for that it wasn't just for purposes of getting a green card. So when I asked you about marriage evidence, it was very, very thin. So you don't have a lot of evidence to prove that the marriage was real. You don't have any evidence to prove the abuse. You could do an affidavit from you, but they're not going to find that very compelling. So given the fact that they have announced the plan to crack down on VAWA cases, I think the chances of this case being approved are 1 or 2%.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Good luck, Jay.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. Let's go to him jamming. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just have a pretty quick question. I was listening to the show and people were talking about uploading unsolicited evidence. This is for marriage-based 485 I-130 adjustment of status. Just, more recently, we got more evidence of financial stuff. We opened another bank account with some money in it and all of that. Do you think it's a good idea to upload that, or does it affect the timeline or how they review it, or none of that matters? I would say we put some pretty good evidence already of financial stuff.
I would say that given the fact that most people are going to have interviews, if you feel like you've already submitted enough evidence, I would just keep it and then bring it to your interview if you get one.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Bye, buddy. His name was him jamming. It's funny because I have a friend who used to call me him jacking, and I think that's what he was going for there. But I like him jamming even better. That's a good one. We were trying to come up with my Star Wars name the other day. I saw some lawyer who had like a Star Wars figure, like an action figure cutout kind of a thing, but like the box that it used to come in like this. But it was It was a lawyer, so it said like Illinois Supreme Court, and then it had like his lawyer stuff. It was pretty funny. So we came up with Him G. My Star Wars name would be Him G, Himji. I think I like that. All right, let's go to Omar. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, buddy. How you
Great.
doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
It's great to speak to you again. Your answer to my last question raised another question.
Okay.
I've asked about domicile before, and you said moving to Mexico to be with my wife while we wait for her CR1 visa interview in Ciudad Juarez would be okay. But my new question is, what about changing my address with the NVC or USCIS to my new address in Mexico?
Yeah, that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do anything that makes it seem like you have officially moved to Mexico. What I was saying was keep your stuff here, keep your presence here, pay your taxes, keep your bank accounts, keep your formal address. I mean, NVC is all through email. Like you're at a stage now where everything's through email. So there's no reason to mess with that stuff.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What about her changing her address? Because when I get there, we're looking to move, and she's probably going to need to change her address, right?
Yeah, you can. That's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that.
Okay. What form is that we would need to fill out for her to change her address? Do you know the number?
Nope. I don't think there is a form. I think you just notify the National Visa Center. But again, it's all email now. Nobody cares.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right, that was Omar. All right, got time for one or two more. Let's go to Mas, M-A-S. Hello.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How long should I wait until I file a mandamus for a green card application?
I would say a year after filing or, a month or two after an interview.
Okay.
How long have you been
That would.
waiting?
And I just applied like a few months ago. I received the receipt 2 days yesterday. Sorry, and it says action complicated.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully you won't need us. Okay. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Now we are going to do a show tomorrow. I'm going to be driving Nora around here and there and everywhere. It'll probably be in the afternoon, but it might be at 12:30. So somewhere between 12:30 and 3, we'll do the show. Again, if you want to text the word show to 314-470-3300, that's your best bet. I might be on TikTok. I will be on YouTube for sure. I hope you guys all have a great day, a great rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want to leave us a 5-star review, just go to reviewhackinglaw.com. We'd appreciate it. See ya. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. I mean,